All right, what is up, guys? We are back, and in today's video, we're going to be previewing the Wasatch Warrior, the GRL PWR Pro, and the Monsterzym Korea Pro. We're going to have a very interesting weekend and very busy week this week. They have live streams for both the Wasatch Warrior and GRL PWR, so I'm definitely going to buy those and share with you guys on my page and cover the show. All the lineups have someone who's currently qualified for the Olympia or have a previous Olympian, at least three of them, at least a minimum of three in every lineup, and in former Olympians from like the past 2, 3, 5 years are in every show this week. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I definitely think the shows that we have in the US, our quality is really high, and I think it sets the tone that this year starting, we're going to have Pittsburgh within 2 weeks from now, I believe. Yes. We're going to have an Olympian in every show, so it's going to be very challenging. It's going to be more difficult for people to go and try to qualify and go against these girls. So that just shows you how competitive Bikini is and how difficult it is to compete. Overseas, they're doing very well. They're trying to line up the criteria as best they can. It's just whatever shows up, that's what they just have to award, and the best physique has to win. But speaking of Wasatch Warrior, this is Robin Marr's 10th year having the show. I remembered it was called Salt Lake City Showdown for like when it started in 2016 for like I think 2019, because I remember Angelica Teixeira actually won the inaugural one in 2016, and the phenomenal year that she had going from last call out to getting second at the Olympia and winning a lot of shows in 2016. Alexis Redmond has won the show, but she's not in it. She's doing GRL PWR. We're going to cover that. Ashley Kay has won this show twice. Amy's won the show twice, and she's not defending her title. So it's going to be very interesting, and we're going to have a new champion, and also the Best Poser Award is going to be awarded by Gilco. And I thought about this. I probably will get in trouble for it, and I told Robin that when I did talk to her, like, I would have loved to donate prize money if I could, just to make it like that, or I would actually, she gives a hammer for a trophy, but I know we can't give any weapons like swords, daggers, spears, but this was my idea because I love the whole Norse mythology thing. And you know what? I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but if I could, whoever wins the show, I'll send it to your address, because we can't give weapons at shows, and I'm not going to be there in person. I'm going to be covering it obviously this weekend, but this was my idea to give somebody like a fully upgraded Leviathan axe from God of War. I thought that would be sick, but that thing would probably weigh around 15, 20 pounds, especially with how it looks. I thought it would be totally sick, and it would be sheathed because both ends are very sharp, but that was my idea for a award at this show, but can't do it. I wish I could. We get in trouble, and I don't want the pro league to get upset with me. But anyways, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm looking forward to cover it. It's going to be very interesting. So let's go over our lineup, starting with. Let me get to this. Here we go. Here we go. So we got Wasatch right here. And so a couple notables right here. Jordan Brandon, she just did Charlotte. She got 4th. Brianna, she took 2nd in San Diego. Savannah Dawsell's back. She did her last show at the 2023 Olympia. Peyton was in a show previously. This is Jessica Neary. She won the North Americans overall at 35 plus. Emmy, she's already qualified. She's doing here. Steph, Tiana's here as well. So couples, I'd say our front runners to win would be most likely Jordan Brandon, and Emmy would be the top 2 girls right here. I would say Bree could be 3rd, possibly win it if she nails it. So we're going to look through all the girls that I feel like are going to be the standouts. So starting with Jordan. Let me see. Charlotte. I felt she tried. This is something for Jordan. She's soft in the back, but then hard and like lean in the front. But I felt like she kind of went with like the more softer look, and it did kind of work out for her. But I feel like if she does something to nail it, just to find that balance between being, the stage lean and not too soft and not too hard, she could probably take it. I love her suit. I think that, like I said, I think this cut, I would like more fabric just to cover like the upper part of her glutes. But if she comes in on point, poses very well, she can definitely take this. So her walk to the back, I just would fix a couple things about that. But honestly, I don't think she has anything to lose doing these shows. And I actually think she gets better with every show. She starts off like not doing very well at first, and then she gradually gets better. And when she doesn't have that much pressure on herself, she does very excellent. And I think her being a top Olympian and already qualified, she's got nothing to lose here. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do. Next up, we got, where is she? Let's do this. Share. We got Emmy. Hold on. Here we go. So Emmy's already qualified. I felt like from San Diego, if I can pull that up, if she has one of them. Here you go. Here you go. Nope. Here we go. Here's stage photos, stage video. So good front. She's keeping her waistline tight. She doesn't need to come in. As long as she contains this muscle right here and doesn't get, too hard, she can probably be one of the front runners to win. I felt like she just needed a little more shoulders in her front, but honestly, in her back pose, it's pretty solid. She has nailed it. She just keeps that same thing and just brings a little bit up. It definitely will carry her over. I mean, she's already Olympia qualified, so we'll see how that goes. And she's getting better and getting more confident on stage, more comfortable as time goes on. So we'll just see how it goes now. It's a much bigger lineup than San Diego, so now this is a test for her. And you know what? Rather than just wait for the Olympics, just see what you can do differently and what you can learn. But honestly, I would say that if she comes in tighter and presents that whole package very well, it's just a little bit on her shoulders and comes in peaked, I think she could be one of those girls to take the win. Okay, do this. Let me see my screen. Next, let's do, go back. So then I'm going to go Bree. So last year was her rookie season. I think she was third in Vancouver and then fifth in the Patriot Challenge. This year she came off much improved. I only felt like she just needed to contain her muscle. And I mean, the vascularity is something that's not in her control, but it honestly doesn't have that much of effect. But I just felt like she just needed more glutes, just more upper glute just to fill out. But honestly, she's pretty spot on and very well presented. I like the blue suit. The green was great on her. She's also done red, but I don't know. Those three, all three of those suits look great on her. I would definitely not do pink or teal. I know this is not a very good image versus pro fitness photos, but honestly, I think just a little more glute, which she's been working on since it was March was San Diego, I believe, or April, early April. And she fills out this part right here. It accentuates her physique. She does have shorter glute inserts, so, and her tie-ins are spot on. She just has to make sure she doesn't come in too hard. And I would fix her hair so where it's not covering her shoulders, because that's something that could take away from her physique. But if she just fixes her hair a bit, more glutes, I could say she gets she could take the win and possibly qualify for the Olympia. I definitely think she has what it takes to qualify. All right, next up, we'll go Savannah. She won the Chicago Pro in 2023. Her last show was the 2023 Olympia. Going into her first Olympian, I saw her on stage at prejudging. She made her routine nice and simple, which was okay, but I felt like she was kind of just nervous going to her first one. But I mean, even it was her first ever big show outside of Chicago Pro. When I saw her, I felt like she was just a little too small compared to like the top echelon of the girls. But she has a very pretty look, pretty shape. I just think a little more glued up here. The suit's fine, but it just felt like presentation was a thing for her. This waistline could have been a little tighter versus what she looked like in Chicago. Let me see if I remember Chicago Pro. I'm sorry, but that backdrop in Chicago was complete garbage. Like if she had this kind of look at the Olympia, she could have been in like a higher call out. And I think if she just added a little more to her, I definitely think she'll be in those top spots. But she has a beautiful look, but I'm sorry about that. I'm hoping they could just do black backdrops this year. I'm sorry to say that, but you have a great look. But I do think that she'll do pretty well here. I mean, we'll just have to see what she brings on Saturday. Next up is Tiana. I was just surprised to see her come into the show early because normally she would do shows in the summer. But she lives on the West Coast, so it's great for her. She hasn't been on stage since the Mexico Pro where she took second. It was to Reina, I believe, right here. She's short girl, has long arms, long legs, shorter torso, so she has to minimize her movements and not be all like wavy and all. But if she comes with just a little more size, I mean, she's really young. She's only 21 years old. Just a little more size. Make sure her hair's fixed so it's not on top of her upper glutes. I can definitely see her in the top spots, but she's still like a work in progress compared to these other girls. Do I think that she's in that top 5? Yes. Do I think that she could be higher? Possibly. It's just going to depend on how others show, but it's just she's young in this, and I feel like she can qualify, but it just has to be the right show, right time, right peak, right lineup. But do I think that she can overtake some Olympians? Yes, but I just feel like in this show it's going to be very difficult for her. Honestly, she posed better than Reina in her front, but it just Reina had more on her versus Tiana. But we'll just have to see. Let's see who could be in those top spots. Pro debut of Jess Neary. Let's see, that's when she won North Americans. I remember she's Canadian. And in North Americans, they allow Canadian and Mexican athletes to compete in that show, but it's only class winners. Here you go. From her updates, she's more tighter and more fuller. Tie-ins are great. Those are great genetics. But I feel like she's one of the more muscular girls. I would fix this elbow. I think from her update, it's much better. But we'll just have to see what happens on stage. Like I said, IG and stage is two different. Yeah, it's much better here. If she comes in tighter in her waist, because she is crazy abs right here. Those are great glute inserts, like those genetics right there. That's amazing. But she's one to look out for. Peyton. So I think she was 7/8 in San Diego. I think she just needs to be a little more upright. She's has a thicker waist, so just has to minimize that a bit. Beautiful girl. Yeah, a little more tighter right here from her glute to her hamstring. Just needs a little more upper right here. Shoulders are fine. Let's see. Next, let's see. So let's see who else I'm going to look out for. Steph. She's done pretty well in the past, but the past couple of shows she's not placed. But we'll just have to see how that looks. Also, pro debut of Carly. She won the overall as an amateur here and turned pro, I think, at Universe. Let's see. Do I have anything from recent? Sure, compile. No. No. Let's see this video here. Well, we'll just have to see how it stacks up. So I don't know much about her. I haven't seen what she looks recently. I haven't seen her on stage. This is her produce. So this is kind of like, we'll just see how it goes. And hey, this is just a test and see how you stack up with some top pros here. Right. So that's Wasatch. Now this is going to be probably the toughest show of the weekend right here. Girl power. We have 5, I believe, former Olympians. Ariel, who got 14th in 2023 Olympia. Ari. We have Kiki, who got top 5. Jessica Dalias, who's been an Olympian before. Marioli, who's placed in the top 4, top 5. Chantal, I think she was 3rd here last year. Nay, who's already qualified. Lexus, what's he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. She's an Olympian. 4. So 6 Olympians essentially. Yeah. So Lexus, she qualified. She's been at the Olympia a couple times. I think last one was 2023. Alice was 15th. So we'll go through some of them. Let's actually go through some of these girls. So let's start with Ariel. She hasn't been on stage since San Diego of last year, where she got 5th, but she has a beautiful look to her. I don't think I can find a show where she was in. I don't want to go from her last Olympia. I want to go from last year's show. So let's do this. She has a great look to her, beautiful look, very adorable girl. Pink suit's fine on her. I've said I think she has a great genetic structure, and she's a longer torso, longer legs. I think she's about 5'5", 5'6". Stunning girl. If she fixes some of her poses, especially with her foot position, I definitely think that she's in the run. She's not someone you want to, count out in any shows. She's someone you have to look after because she does very well in pro shows, and she's been to the Olympia, and I think now three times. She did 21, she did 23, I believe. But whenever she's in those lineups, she's in that top 3, top 5 spots, and she's always someone to be looking after. She has a great look. I just feel like posing could be a thing for her, but Ariel's one of those girls we have to look out for. Next up, let's go to, here we go. Ari. So I would say that she's one of our front runners to win the show. I just feel like she just had to be a little more tighter in her back, but her front, like I said, I feel like in her front, it's pretty good. Waist is small, just more coverage here. Pink suit's great. I mean, red suit, we have so many red suits, so I feel like people are going to be more versatile this year. She can do the pink. It's perfect with her hair and her skin tone. Just a little more tighter, and she can win this show. I feel like she's trying to do things I think her and James are working in ways to make like her be spot on. She is a taller girl, so she's gonna carry more muscle, and just getting into the condition, that's just kind of been the only thing I feel like is her issue. But she has the qualities of a top Olympian and a Miss Olympia, and I definitely think that if she comes in more tighter than she did in Charlotte, she can take the win. It was a 1-point difference with Maria Acosta, who won the show, so we'll see how it goes. Next up, Kiki. She's done very well. I think she's been 4th, 5th in a lot of shows. I like the green suit on her. I like how her weight comes in. I just feel like she could adjust maybe a little bit in an opposing, but I definitely think that she's one to look after in all shows. And if she nails it, she's pretty spot on. The thing with her is like she has a shorter torso, so she has to make her details around her, and she could just be a little more upright and have that upper glute come in. She's definitely one to be watching, but she has what it takes to be in those top spots. All right, next we have Jessica. She's a previous Olympian. She qualified in 2023. She won the Southern Muscle Showdown. She has long legs, shorter glute inserts. Let me see from her last show. Southern Muscle. Like last year, I think she had a hard time with some of the shows. She was outside top 5 in a lot of them, but we'll just have to see how it goes. But she's always someone to look after. Like great genetics, like small waist. But it's just some parts on her, just when and against other girls, some parts may just be more better than her. Let me see. Nothing from it was, I think that was, I don't know why she didn't want to post it. Maybe that was not one of her best looks that she wanted to present. So I'll just go with, was that the class show that she did? Go with, see Nashville. Green suit's fine. I'm used to seeing her in red, but I think either one's great on her. She has done blue and teal before. Let's see anything. Not much from her last showings. It was not, I don't think last year was a good year, so that's kind of why I feel that's why. But we'll see. Maybe she can improve. Marioli. She placed 10th in her last show. She's always been in the top spots. I wouldn't do the pink suit. I would go with the red suit. I would go back to the red suit, and I would, fix how I would fix her top on her. She has a pretty look, very stunning look, but I just feel like some things just could be presented much better. Just needs a little more glued up top. But her front's good. It's just her back has to match that. Let's see. Chantal. She's one to look after. She got 3rd last year in this show. Then she kind of like slipped in other shows. She's always in that like 7 to 8, 9 range, and I think she has what it takes to be at the top. She has incredible genetics, like incredible glute genetics. I just felt like her upper body's, overtakes her lower body, and that's something that she's been working on, is matching her lower body to her upper body. Let me see this was from Arizona. I think she was like somewhere between that 7, 8, 9 range. But that is like up top is great, but right here in her glute genetics, that is like with those long glute insertions, what she has, if she can just have like a little more leg to match this, where it's not like she's glute dominant. I don't think it's not like her glutes are too big. It's just her glutes overtake her legs, and she's longer, so it just takes more time for her to get into that. And she could just fix that, just a little adjustment to the front pose to accentuate her physique. I think that's all she needs. Let's see. Let's see. Nay. So she's one who I believe will be in that top 5. Go in that top 5 placings. She's already Olympia qualified, so she's got nothing to lose here. I think it was it Hawaii that she won, if I recall? Incredible. I know it was the Kansas City Pro. It's around December. It was around the November, December time. The lighting was so harsh there. Yeah, lighting was so bad at Hawaii as well. But like I said, long girl, long gluten, but she has a shorter torso. A lot of these girls in this lineup are longer, taller, longer legs. They have kind of like that. That's kind of like the theme. So definitely going to see who presents that very well. We're going to see a lot of tall girlies here. So we just saw Nay. We'll go with Lexus. She hasn't been on stage since the 2023 Olympia. She's always in that top spots. She wins pro shows. She does very well, but it's just kind of like at the Olympia, kind of like, I feel like she doesn't always nail the conditioning thing. I can't find anything from recent, so I'm gonna have to find her Olympia photo. Hold on. Here we go. So this is from the 2023 Olympia. Just feel like a little more, she could just adjust this right here. It's just her back pose is phenomenal. She's small waist. It's just her front doesn't reflect that as well. I feel like if she can reflect her back pose to her front and nails her conditioning, she's definitely one in to be looking out after. She's always like on point with stage presence and stuff and great poser. Just has to just nail that one aspect, just nailing the conditioning, and definitely can see her taken like into those top spots, but we'll just have to see. Right, next up, Alice. So she's definitely one of the front runners in this show. She defeated Ashley Kay in Patriots Challenge, and she qualified, and she did very well. First Olympia, she gets 15th, and then she took second to Vanya in Brazil show. I honestly thought for this whole time she nails her peak. She can be one of those girls that can be in the top spots, and I think in a couple of years she's going to be like a top 10, top 5 Olympian to be in the contention. To me, she's like a taller Jen Dory. I don't know if that's weird for me to say, even though she has shorter glutes, she has great genetics for bikini as well. And we always say like great structure and great genetics are definitely going to carry you over. And I definitely see her battling it out with Ari and Ariel Barley for the win. But I think that she's getting better. It's just going to be who's going to be on point, who shows up best. Last, we have Korea. So small list, but notables are Valeria and G-Ben. I would say those two are top runners. Sung-Uk is a former Olympian. She did the 2020 Olympia. I actually looked it up. I was like, oh, wow. Some of these girls have been high as like second, have been in the top 5, but I'm going to go over who I think is going to be the ones to take the win. So obviously Valeria. And I don't know what's her situation. She she stays stage lean year round. She comes in hard and really conditioned, and she wants to do bikini like her way, not what the pro league wants. She wants to do it her way. And obviously she wins all the shows in Europe because they award more of the conditioned look. But when she comes to the States, she doesn't do so well and, complains about it. I don't know her situation. She retired. She did Prague to, say I'm coming out of retirement. So I don't know what her situation is. I mean, is the girl to do the show? She might be the girl to win, but I'm not here to start gossip and start talking smack and all, but I see her as a win. I see her as like one of those girls to win. Maybe she wins, maybe she doesn't, but I don't know the situation. But I would say great physique, great in the back, but it's just she comes in too hard. She comes in too shredded and conditioned, and she doesn't want to change. And it's like, okay, that's great. You can win all these shows, but if you want to do well in the States or win the Olympia, you have to adjust to the criteria of what they award. But if you want to stick to your own thing, then understand you're not going to be awarded. But going online and whining and complaining about the show and why you didn't do well, I don't know. Like, anyway, she's one of the girls I'd say to win. Another girl to look after is Jiben. Where's Jiben? She placed 15th place at the 2022 Olympia. Just needs more glutes. This Olympia 2023, but the 2022 one was good. I felt like her shoulders were very overpowering here. But she mostly does shows in Asia. She rarely does shows out here in the States, but at some point she's gonna, if she really wants to be in those top places outside of 15th, she's got to get uncomfortable being comfortable. So here's her Olympia. She's been to the Olympia 3 times now. She didn't qualify last year. I think Mark Anthony is coaching her. But yeah, it just needs more glutes. You can tell. Those girls in Asia have great genetics. It's just presentations is lacking for them. I haven't seen Sung-Uk in a long time, so I can't really say much about her. Mengru, she took second a couple times. Here we go. Here's the show. Beautiful girl. Just can't come in too hard or conditioned. You can definitely see it in her legs. Let's see. Vicky. She's been like second. She did qualify for the Olympia. I just feel like for her, it's just presentation. Great glute genetics. And it looks like she has I just think she just needs a little more size to her. It's hard with these. It's hard at this level. Outside of that, I don't know. Charlotte, I think she got second at the last show to Yumi, and she placed really bad at the UK show. I would have gone back to the blue suit. I felt like her tan was bad. It just has to control her, waistline and her front pose. She carries a lot of muscle as a tall girl, and I think she just needs to get a little massage work up here because it feels like she's elevating her shoulder a bit. All right. So those are my picks. Let's go into predictions. Okay, so Wasatch. I'm going Jordan, Emmy, Bree. I'm gonna go Savannah, Tiana, Jess, Peyton, I think I'll stick with 6. Because it's just going to be I don't know, whoever shows up, I guess. Now, girl power is going to be very interesting. I think that's where I can have a good top 10 because this is a really tough lineup, even with 21 girls in it. So I'm going to go Ari, Alice, Ariel, Lexus, Nay, Jessica, Chantal, what is it? Chantel. Actually, I'm going to go Kiki, Chantel, Marioli, and Emma. This is her pro debut. I definitely think these three are definitely the ones to look after, but you never know. We could get some surprises, but it's hard to go from 6th to 10th. But we'll see what Sandy goes with. We'll see just who nails it. And for Korea, I'm going to go Val, Jibbin, Mengru, Vicky, Charlotte. All right. So that is my preview, and this is going to be a very exciting week. And I definitely think the biggest theme for Girl Power is going to be with these tall girls, who nails it, who's spot on. And we'll just have to see how that goes. Wasatch will be very interesting as well. And I look forward to this whole weekend. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you. I have another guest, and I have another episode this week after this one is uploaded and edited and launched. And I'll see you guys next time.